Unpacking the child abuse case against YouTube influencer Ruby Franke, online. Ruby Franke's sister disgusted by child abuse charges. The 8 Passengers YouTube channel started by Ruby Franke is no more, though months-old videos calling out her behavior remain. And after Ruby was arrested August 30th and subsequently charged with 6 counts of felony child abuse, as was her business partner Jodi Hildebrandt, so came the pile-on of accusations that what was wrong behind closed doors was unfolding in plain sight for years. When Ruby and husband Kevin Franke first moved into their Springville, Utah, home with their 6 children, they were fine at first, a neighbor who requested anonymity told the Salt Lake Tribune. But in August of 2022, the neighbor said, Kevin had moved out and she started to notice the 4 youngest kids seemingly being left alone for days to weeks at a time. So, the neighbor continued, she contacted the Utah Division of Child and Family Services and spoke to them at least twice. The women are being held without bail in Washington County Jail pending a hearing that's been postponed until after October 5th, their lawyers having requested more time to review copious amounts of discovery, according to Utah State Court officials. Meanwhile, how Ruby, 41, and Jodi, 54, ended up behind bars has captivated the usual Let's Try This Case Right Now crowd on social media, and countless hours of videos and podcasts have already been devoted to the pair. Who is Ruby Franke? With the built-in hook of having 6 adorable kids, Ruby and Kevin added their Utah family to the vast mix of day-in-the-life domestic content on YouTube when they started 8 Passengers in early 2015. They relayed that they were members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and introduced the world to Shari, Chad, Abby, Julie, Russell and Eve, who are now between the ages of 20 and 10. Before the Franke's channel was taken down this year, it had amassed more than 2.3 million subscribers. According to Kevin's attorney, the kid's father, who has not been charged with any offense, is absolutely shocked by the allegations against his estranged wife. He and Ruby had been living apart for 13 months before her arrest, an arrangement that was not his choice, lawyer Randy Kester explained to Today.com. He wanted to work through concerns as a family, Kester said. There was never any formal, written decree of separate maintenance or separation agreement. The separation was under terms prescribed by Ruby and Jodi Hildebrandt. On Law and Crime's Sidebar podcast, Kessler said that Kevin was a good dad who had never abused his kids in any way, nor had he ever been accused of abuse. He's getting raked over the coals by all of this, the lawyer said, when in fact, he himself was to some degree a victim of these psychological and mental manipulations that were perpetrated against him and his family by Jodi. Who is Jodi Hildebrandt? Jodi is the founder of Cons Ions, which according to her website offers training built on principles of honesty, responsibility, and humility to help people empower themselves and repair their relationships with others. In her Cons Ions classroom bio, Jodi describes her counseling style as compassionate yet direct and clear. Jodi has agreed to a freeze of her mental health counseling license, the Utah Division of Professional Licensing telling NBC affiliate KSL-TV on September 19. Since her arrest, Doble, along with the Utah Attorney General's office, has been working with Hildebrandt's lawyer to secure the voluntary surrender of her professional license with limitations, ensuring that she cannot practice if released from jail. In a June 2020 video, Ruby and Kevin acknowledged the backlash after then 15-year-old Chad shared on 8 Passengers that he'd had his bedroom taken away for 7 months and was sleeping on a beanbag, punishment for pranking his little brother. When he got his room back, Ruby told Insider at the time, he had done a bedroom reveal where he was excited that he put LED lights up in his bedroom and he was hanging puzzles on his wall that he had put together and glued. It never occurred to him that it would turn on us. According to Insider, a letter from DCFS confirmed the investigation was closed without further action because claims of abuse were unsupported. Other clips that have been resurfaced in the days since Ruby's arrest highlight the approach to discipline that had fellow YouTubers devoting their platforms to analyzing the Frankes. In one clip, Ruby warned her younger son that he was going to lose the privilege to eat dinner for roughhousing with his big brother. In another much circulated video, She talked about her decision to not bring her then 6-year-old daughter her school lunch even though the child's teacher was uncomfortable with her being hungry and not having a lunch, because it had been her daughter's responsibility to pack the food and bring it with her. Ruby said in another excerpted clip, "My kids are not welcome to come live with me after they're 18. And there is an 8 passengers video, now posted to TikTok, in which Ruby said that her 2 youngest children had been displaying long patterns of selfishness and she and Kevin would be giving the gift of truth to them this year for Christmas. Neighbors who gathered outside when police came to the house that day told officers, per their report, that they were very concerned about the children and them being left at home alone. While an investigation into non-supervision fell under the category of neglect, the agency explained, an investigation was only opened when the information reported includes a description of a specific occurrence or allegation that a child is subjected to accidental harm, or an unreasonable risk of accidental harm. What led to Ruby Franke's arrest and charges of child abuse? On August 30th, Ruby's 12-year-old son crawled out of a window of Jody's home and ran to a neighbor's house, where he asked for food and water, according to details in a probable cause affidavit obtained by NBC News and a press release from the Santa Clara Ivans Public Safety Department. The SIP said its dispatch center received a call at around 10:50 a.m. about a juvenile who appeared to be emaciated and malnourished, with open wounds and duct tape around the extremities. His condition was so severe, he was transported to an area hospital. What have Ruby Franke's family members had to say about the child abuse charges? In a statement posted to their Instagram accounts August 31st, Ruby's sisters Bonnie Holan, Julie Daru, and Ellie Meekum, all of whom have followings as family-themed influencers, said they'd kept quiet about the mother of 6 for the sake of her children. Behind the scenes, they continued, "We have done everything to try and make sure the kids were safe. Ruby was arrested, which needed to happen. The kids are now safe, which is the number one priority." Asked about Bonnie's allegation that the father of 6 had failed to protect his kids, Kevin's attorney told Today.com that his client was more interested in reaching out to his children, family, and friends to heal the past trauma and events than debating his sister-in-law. News weeknights Monday through Thursday at 11 p.m., only on E!